Thanks for joining us in our comic book coffee break. I'm Nick Gunning.
I'm Eric Mickles.
Today I am drinking Shop and Save brand coffee in my Eternals mug. Look at that.
Congratulations. You're the only person on Earth with an Eternals mug.
Yeah, you know what? I got it at an FYE. It's been a few years, so like there was still FYEs around. It was 97 cents, brand new at FYE.
Okay.
If that tells you how popular this was. What are you drinking there?
I'm drinking Coca-Cola.
Straight from the can.
After falling right off the wagon a little bit ago with soda.
Okay.
But I'm also drinking a big old glass of water. If I was drinking coffee, it would most likely be a cinnamon dolce macchiato from Starbucks.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big evolution for you since we started Comic Book Coffee Break 5 years ago, by the way. This is our 5-year anniversary of Comic Book Coffee Break and our 10-year anniversary, the podcast that started it all, the All the Book Show.
So. Do you know, I think the 5-year anniversary for doing a comic book podcast is print.
Huh, okay.
Oh, speaking of gifts, we're recording on the eve of your birthday.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can be on the record as saying your order was supposed to come yesterday. Yeah. But now you got to wait till Monday. So apologies.
Okay.
I really tried to make it happen this year.
I believe in you. Well, we just did our birthday, Christmas, New Year's extravaganza with our friends Sally and Sarah. Same thing happened. So it's the opposite of a hot streak for getting my birthday gifts. But it's the thought that counts. And I think that's what matters. So
yeah.
Anyway, let's talk comic books. How was 2025? Just give me an overview. Was this a good year for you in comics? Was it a bad year?
This was a good year for me in comics.
Okay, that's good.
It was a year, I don't want to say like coming to God year.
Huh. That's in the air now, though, so.
There was kind of a moment, I think, for me, where I was like, do I still like reading comics? Or am I just doing it because I do it? Mm-hmm. And some things sort of changed.
Okay.
So I started studying Buddhism. I started reflecting.
Everything's happening for you.
I put a lot of my money in penny stocks. Haven't seen it come back.
Did you say penny slots or penny stocks?
Both. I wanted to really diversify my portfolio.
That's what they say. That's the smart money.
Yeah.
So good for you.
I'm really in the hole right now, but I'm hoping any minute those penny slots are going to turn around.
Spend money to make money, and I think that's what
I'm saying.
You gotta remember that.
Into my phone.
You gotta remember that. I looking back over my storygraph for the year, and I was trying to what did I 5-star? What did I high star? And it was slim pickings. So I feel like I read a lot.
Phrase.
Yeah, I read a lot, but there wasn't anything that I was like, yes, this was the year of whatever. So it was a little hard to pick my favorites, but I finished some series, read some things that I've been meaning to get to, and finally did. I guess we'll see how it goes. Sometimes talking about it brings up things that I was like, that was just okay, and then I changed my mind and realized that I loved it.
It's kind of like therapy.
Yeah, it's exactly like therapy.
We talked about how like that Batman comic was. I thought that Batman comic was bad, but I can see that it was actually really trying its best at the time. Yeah, and so I can understand the Batman comic, but I don't have to excuse the Batman comic.
Exactly, and that's a healthier approach all around. Let's look at the movies and TVs things that came out this year.
Going into other media right away.
I'm sorry. It's just this was a weird year for that as well, and I actually don't know which of these things you have seen and not seen. So let's just rattle them off.
I cannot remember the main movie of this year. What was the big, start of the summer movie?
Was it Thunderbolts?
Oh, thank you. I forgot that movie existed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about Thunderbolts then. Did you like Thunderbolts? Yeah. Did you see Thunderbolts?
I finally watched Thunderbolts. Okay. I was not a fan, unfortunately, for my sister, who loved it. Yeah. I find a lot of people really want to be like, but it's about depression. And I want to be like, it's cool that it's about that, but I don't know. I still want to watch a movie. Yeah. So, I don't want to discourage it too much other than saying I probably would have, I don't know, maybe not. But a big issue I have with it is this is in no way a recognizable Thunderbolts team for me.
It's true.
And there are multiple incarnations of the Thunderbolts that they could have pulled from, but Feige was just like, no, let's get all the C-listers.
Right. That was kind of a hard pill to swallow, that it was just all side characters from TV shows, basically. Yeah. That being said, I did, like, when I watched it, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, but there was not really like a main focus. And it's also one, kind of like we were saying last year with Deadpool and Wolverine, I have no desire to rewatch that movie.
See, what you said is part of the reason where I've really lost faith in Feige, because he said the same thing after the movie came out. He's like, well, everybody in that movie was from TV shows. And I was like, no, one person from that movie is in TV shows. Like, everybody else is from Black Widow or Ant-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one thing for like the audience to think that, but for Feige to think that just kind of shows that he doesn't I don't know, like he's not really paying attention to this stuff.
I guess what I mean is that they sort of retroactively became TV characters. You know what I mean? Because like Florence Pugh is coming off of Hawkeye, and I was thinking that we're picking up Winter Soldier from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes, you're right. They do feel very TV.
Yeah. So it's like almost like the TV versions. I don't know.
Whether it's C-listers from other movies or from TVs, they're auxiliary characters that they just had lying around. It's like when you go into your toy box and you're like, well, I need some stooges for the real bad guy to have. So suddenly you've got a Parasaurolophus that can talk because you just need a figure to play the role.
Right.
I don't think box office wise it would have helped to introduce a team of brand new Marvel villain characters like Thunderbolts would do. And I do think Suicide Squad is what everybody would think of anyway.
Yeah.
So doing it like the comics is probably a no-win. The original Kurt Busiek concept where it's villains masquerading as heroes to trick everybody, but then some of them actually do become heroes. I think they could have got away with that, but you'd really have to, I don't know, you'd have to land it. And maybe they just didn't think they could. And again, they've already got other actors on contract, so.
Yeah. The twist of sort of making it the new Avengers at the end, too, I was like, that's just, I don't understand that really.
I know. Well, that was my thing, too. It's like, they're not this team is neither a recognizable cast of Thunderbolts or new Avenger characters.
Right. Right.
It's so hodgepodge. But I know some people who freaking loved it, and maybe at a different time I might have loved it. Yeah. Maybe if this had come out like when we were all still hot for the MCU, I would have been like, oh, it's a real underrated character piece. But it also is a super Nepo baby film.
True, that is true. Yeah, I mean, I do think that it could benefit from a rewatch. Like if you were to revisit it again, you might be a little bit more charitable feeling towards it. I feel like right in the same wheelhouse of that is the one that came before that, and that's Captain America: Brave New World. Did you even watch that?
I have not seen this one yet.
Yeah, I mean,
what was the other one that came out? Also, I have not seen Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's wild. Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Captain America: Brave New World, I think is like a serviceable, fun kind of movie. It hinges a lot on you having seen the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk, and I also like, as you know,
I'm finally getting recognition I wanted it to get in its weird way.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's also weird to come off a Captain America thing.
I wouldn't say that I disliked it. I felt like it was fine. Like I sat there, I enjoyed it. I like Red Hulk. I like the mystery of that, and there was no element of that mystery. It was just, here's Harrison Ford, and he's going to be Red Hulk. Here it comes. So there wasn't a lot of intrigue. I don't know. It just
Red Hulk is one of those things that like I've yet to care about it outside of that initial mystery.
Right.
Kind of like Hush.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's a good
Hush,
comparison.
Though, to be fair, they have tried at times to... maybe not. I mean, I can't think of another story besides Heart of Hush that actually I felt like used Hush well. And most people don't even like Heart of Hush.
Yeah. No, I think Heart of Hush is okay. And there's a sequel that came out not too long ago, too, that I haven't even bothered with. But are
we talking about Hush 2?
Yeah.
No, it's not finished yet.
Oh, it's still going? Like it's active?
Yeah, I was going to talk about this, but while you're on it, Chip Zdarsky's run of Batman ended, and it went straight into Hush 2 with Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. But as of now, only like 5 issues are out, and the continued issues have been delayed month after month after month. And so we will eventually reach a point where like Batman 159 or 160, wherever it is for Hush 2 is coming out at the same time as Batman issue 7, because the new volume started. Matt Fraction's run started with a relaunch.
That's wild.
Yeah. And people have pointed out that it's the same artist who worked with Tinian the Fourth and Chip Zdarsky is now working with Matt Fraction, and in the time it takes Jim Lee to do 1 issue, this guy has already done like 6 or 7.
Yeah, so, that's not great.
I guess Jim Lee has to run DC Comics.
Yeah, but which maybe that's time consuming. The only new like Batman media that I can there was a sequel to Batman Ninja that came out this year.
I know. I keep meaning to watch it, and I have
me too. I haven't seen it. I did watch Aztec Batman, which was pretty interesting. I think,
saw that come up. I put it on my list.
Yeah, I think that they could have done a little bit more work to make it. It's one of those ones where it's like, okay, I can kind of see like that's the Alfred stand-in, that's the Joker stand-in or whatever, but like that's broadcast to you, but it doesn't really feel organic. Like I know that it's a different setting, a different time, different characters and everything, but I think a little bit more care could have been made to make it sit in the Batman world a little bit more without changing much. So, I liked that.
I've been behind on the DC animated movies for a bit. Like, I'm still watching through the Tomorrowverse stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The last one I watched was the Justice Society one, where the Flash goes back to World War II.
Right. I wanted to watch that. I just haven't seen it. But
I just remember thinking, like, this animation is as cheap as it gets.
Yeah, it's true.
And especially because they get to a city at one point. I'm like, this is still just like modern day. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those first ones definitely had more money in the budget. And as time has gone on, you can kind of see that budget shrinking.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's that Tomorrowverse style that they were going for. Makes it look. It all just looks very flat.
Yeah.
Did anything else come out? I mean, I guess there was some live action stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
TV
so you didn't watch Fantastic Four First Steps. I didn't care about that at all. It was like, it was a Saturday and we were like, let's go see Fantastic Four. And I ended up weirdly loving it, particularly what they did with Silver Surfer.
I don't know anyone who has tried to make themselves like the Fantastic Four more than you. Like, if this was couples counseling, you have put in the work.
Thank you.
But so you loved the movie?
I did. I really did. And I had, maybe it's because I had zero expectations, but I thought it was very cool. Like they took a lot of cool swings. I thought the characters, it was a really good representation of the characters. It didn't have that like trite or dull energy that a lot of Fantastic Four stuff ends up having. So I am interested to see what you think of it if you eventually get to it. Do you intend to watch it or just...
I do. During this year and around the time Fantastic Four was coming out, my wife and I started the process of adopting a 12-year-old.
Right. Yeah, that takes some time.
And he has never seen any of the MCU movies.
Okay.
So my plan was to just show him all of them, and then we'll get to
it when you get to
America and Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
when we get to those. So I guess I have all this year.
Yeah. We were doing an MCU rewatch for us, but we were showing our son for the first time, and we have been stuck on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Like, I've checked it out from the library, it's sitting there, and I just cannot bring myself to put that movie in. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So maybe one of these days it will happen. I mean, but
now that they're not doing the whole Kang stuff, now that they're going back to whatever they're doing with Doom,
who knows?
It's even more skippable. Than ever before.
It's true, which breaks my heart. Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, I mean, some of my favors. And it's
Douglas had fun in it. You could tell Douglas was having some fun.
Yeah, he was having a good time.
Though weirdly, not a lot of fun stuff between Douglas and Pfeiffer.
No, that's true. It still blows my mind that they've never been in a movie together, but...
There's like nothing of consequence happens to the characters.
Yeah.
And then nothing of consequence happens to an overall plot. So it really is just like... I mean, I guess healthily they moved away from Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah,
which I was thinking. I just showed the kid the Hobbit films.
Oh, okay.
Like I try not to review on Letterboxd so much because it's kind of whatever. But I really did want to be like, society's decision to move away from Evangeline Lilly is the healthiest thing we've ever done.
I think that's true. That is accurate. The only other big movie that came out that we haven't talked about is Superman, which you got me on VHS, and I just was testing it, and it looks great on my tiny VHS TV combo. Vintage trailers and stuff, so good.
Really? It has trailers?
Yeah, it has. I sent you a picture. I don't know if you got that text, but it starts with like a 70s cartoon of Superman being like, "Don't smoke," and then it has trailers for Man of Steel and Superman Returns, and I think Brightburn, a few things like that, and then the movie starts. But super cool. Yeah, I liked this movie. I wanted to love it, but I liked it. I have not rewatched it, and I'm hoping that the rewatch will make it more rosy for me. But what did you think?
When I was picking to get you that and the Batman on VHS,
right?
Kendra was like, "But I thought he didn't really like Superman." And I was like, "Well, if anything can make him like it just an inch more, it will be watching it on VHS."
You're not wrong. You are not wrong, sir.
Scan lines and that mono audio coming through.
Yep.
I haven't seen it in motion. I only saw like the images they showed on the Etsy store. But you did like the Batman, so
I love that movie.
I thought that would carry the gift.
It's a wise balance. Yep.
And we decided this year that our gifts are going to be decoration related. And I'm like, worst comes to worst, he's just got 2 cool VHS tapes to decorate with.
It's true.
So. And yes, to answer your question earlier, I did love the Superman movie.
I'm glad.
It made me cry. I've watched it twice, which isn't a lot, but I watched it in theaters. And then, like, the first weekend I had our 12-year-old here, I put that on, and he was like, "I don't want to watch that." Whoa. And he ended up loving it.
Okay.
He was a big fan of Krypto and Mr. Terrific. I cry at the same spot every time. 2 things. One, the film helps itself by letting the John Williams score do the heavy lifting in a lot of spots.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember when the Force Awakens trailer was first coming out and the stuff we were seeing on screen was cool, but it was also just those versions of the John Williams music that was really being like, "We're ready, Star Wars is back."
Yeah.
I think that was, I'm not a huge fan of John Williams, like incidental music that's just happening in the background or stuff. But those like main themes, it's crazy.
Yeah, he's a crowd pleaser for sure.
Also, they didn't really do it, but there were some bits where I was like, is that kind of like Hans Zimmer's? Hans Zimmer did a bit in Man of Steel called "What Are You Gonna Do When You're Not Saving the World?"
Right.
And I felt like that was the most Superman thing in those Snyder films.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
I guess the second thing is part of the reason I'm also in the process of adopting a kid is because like I watched Superman and there's that bit at the end where he's just talking about being human, where he's like, every day I wake up not knowing what to do, but I try, I still try to go out there and do good. And, I don't know what I'm doing, but I still try and everything. And I was just sitting in the theater, like, I need to do good things.
Wow.
What do I do?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, I just had a lot of fun with it. I have to tell, maybe it's just casting a face, but there's that moment in the movie where Ultraman's face is revealed. And because of the hair, that was all like windswept and stuff. It kind of had like an Anakin Skywalker from the Revenge of the Sith on it. But for a second, it took my face blindness self to realize I wasn't looking at Tom Welling.
I had the same, and I was, the way they built up that character for so much, I thought it was going to be some kind of stunt casting in there. I would have loved if that was Tom Welling. But
it took me a second to be like, oh no, it's just that face. But it just must be the Superman face, and then you put fluffy hair on it, and I'm just like, Tom Welling.
Yep.
I don't know how many people in the theater would have instantly recognized Tom Welling had they done that. Like today's Tom Welling.
Yeah, that's true. It still would have been cool. There's 2 other movies that I want to mention before we move on from movies.
Yeah, what else was there?
I think that's pretty much it, but Star Trek Section 31 came out. That's the one with
oh sure,
with Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, you're the only person I know that liked it, so I'm glad you liked it.
I know. They talked about that being a series for a long time, and then it felt like it was scrapped, and then she won the Oscar, and then it was like, it's back, baby, but it's going to be a movie. And you can tell from the movie that it was like they had a season worth of story and they put it into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was a very fun, like, it doesn't feel very Star Trek-y, which was a big complaint, but it just plays like kind of a rompous, like 90s sci-fi movie in a way that I really enjoyed. And I also read the prequel comic by Alyssa Wong, and that was fun too. So, I would have been fine if they never made that movie, but now that they had, like, I could see throwing it in the mix, when I'm watching Star Trek movies. The other thing that I finally watched was Kraven the Hunter. And man, I did. And those Sony movies, they're not even fun. I can appreciate a bad movie.
Through Morbius, I sat through Madam Web. I couldn't believe it.
Insane. I just don't understand.
Even Ghost Rider had the
scene where he takes fire. Yeah.
But yeah, Madam Web and Morbius, it's like, guys, jeez,
I know.
Like Daredevil and Ghost Rider, they're not good movies, but at least you have Colin Farrell going bananas as Bullseye, or Nick Cage performance.
I just don't.
And these, you got Dakota Johnson being like, well, I mean, I
think that there's an art to knowing that you're kind of making a subpar movie and like, let's make the very best of this. And these was everyone. They're like, this is our Goodfellas. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, it is absolutely not. So it was terrible. I didn't like it.
Every time I see a clip of it show up on Netflix's preview, I'm like, I'm not watching this anytime soon. That Rhino looks as ugly as can be.
It was terrible. As far as TV shows go, there was Eyes of Wakanda, which I watched a couple episodes of and was enjoying, and then I didn't have Disney Plus anymore, so I couldn't finish it.
Right.
I did finish Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which was pretty good. It's kind of a take on the MCU Spider-Man. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also watched Ironheart, which I enjoyed. I don't know that it really made a case for its own existence, but okay.
Yeah.
There's a very dark turn in it, which actually quite surprised me for the MCU, and that was the thing that was maybe the most interesting to me. But since you bring up Iron Man, I have to tell you, I watched the 90s Iron Man show in its entirety.
Both seasons.
It is crazy. It's like the intro is so terrible, and like every episode is like a tone change, and like the characters are bananas, and like Mandarin and MODOK have this weird, like, sort of Power Rangers energy. It's so bizarre. Have you ever seen any of this show?
I don't know if I have, but isn't the second season supposed to be better? Or is that Fantastic Four?
Well, they both went through a pretty drastic change. The only thing that really stays the same, I think, is a couple of voice actors, but everything else changes. And I don't know that I would say the second season is better. It's different. But that was, I found this at a thrift store for $2 for the whole series. And I was like, all right. And watched it. And yeah, it was banana cake.
Would you say that Armored Adventures is still the best way to go?
I do think that. Yeah. Even though they're children, I feel like that is the best Iron Man TV show.
Yeah.
I don't think the Iron Man anime was that great either. Just kind of slow. And
I didn't watch that. I did watch like Rise of Technovore or something.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one. But
all right. Well, let's stick with Marvel. Tell me what you read, what you liked with Marvel this year.
Well, let me start off then saying this is the first time in a while I did not continue my Marvel Unlimited subscription.
Oh, okay.
I think Marvel was a big part of my I don't want to say superhero fatigue, because that's not really it. It's I don't know, part of the comic fatigue of having been reading X-Men and Marvel comics for at that 25 years.
Right.
It's not one of those like I've seen everything, but it was just kind of, I sound like a real like old fogey when I say it, but like nothing seems to matter in a way. And like I can get past continuity issues or something. Like I try to be kinder about like, well, that's not how it's supposed to be and stuff. But like the lack of weight is what really, because if it doesn't matter to the story, then it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And I think that just kind of hit. So this year I finished the Krakoa era, so I'm a year late on that.
All right.
And I haven't read any of the post Krakoa stuff, but I just kind of had the vibe of like, I'm not really feeling any of this right now. I was gonna let it wait. And I went through my to read list on Marvel Unlimited, and I took off a lot of stuff because I'm like, I'm never gonna read this. Or maybe I wanted to read this 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
But at this point, no, I don't care about whoever this kid Nova is.
Right.
You know? And not only that, but they have, they introduce these new characters, but then they kind of get swept under the wayside when they don't necessarily work. So it's like, I'm going to read 10 issues of Kid Nova, and then he's never going to appear again in something.
Yeah, true.
So the Venom run, like the newer Venom stuff that came out by Mike Costa, and then it was Cates.
Oh yeah, right? Donny Cates, yeah.
Donny Cates, yeah. Yep. I read Donny Cates' Venom run. And I know some people love King in Black and that run and stuff, but I'm like
to one of them.
I just don't totally get it. Like, is this version of Venom really that much better than the Venom that wanted to kill Spider-Man to have like a super sad, depressed dad who's like, oh, gee, I tried so hard and nothing ever works out. I don't know. Like, he's just such a sad downer. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but I don't know. I guess when I pick up a Venom comic, that's not necessarily the vibe I'm looking for.
That makes sense.
And like, Carnage will show up. I'm like, okay, this will be better. But then a little bit of Carnage goes a long way.
What if it's Woody Harrelson in a Little Orphan Annie wig? Does that help?
That goes an even longer way.
Okay. Just making sure.
I'll say I was disappointed by the Sabretooth War.
Okay.
This was the end of the Wolverine comic, like the last 10 issues of the Wolverine comic during the Krakoa era. This was written by Benjamin Percy and Victor Laval. And Victor Laval did the 2 Sabretooth miniseries during Krakoa.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they were a little bit meta, more character-based, focusing on Sabretooth, but also the exiled characters that were put into the pit during Krakoa. So there's more depth in that.
Okay.
Sabretooth War, you can definitely tell the 2 writers are at odds because Laval is definitely still trying to do like meta kind of conversations about Sabretooth and the character.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Benjamin Percy is like, yeah, but what if Sabretooth just split a mutant in half with his claws? And you have a couple of red herrings, you have a couple of plot stuff that goes nowhere. It's not a 10-issue series, and I was kind of hoping it would be more interesting and have more stuff to say because of those Sabretooth comics.
Yeah.
Like, Doug Ramsey is trying to, like, rehabilitate Sabretooth using Krakoa and everything. But in the end, we're just kind of like, why did you think that would work? This is freaking Sabretooth we're talking about. Like, it's kind of like we know where the story would normally go in that kind of thing, but Sabretooth is too much of his own character to bend to those conventions kind of things.
Yeah, right.
And that's interesting. And the bit where Quentin Quire's head is inside a cage and still alive and crying.
Oh,
like that's
okay.
Yeah. And you've read some Krakoa, but you've like done it bits and pieces, right?
Yeah, I haven't read anything that's like, this is Krakoa. Okay. I've been reading other series that kind of loop in with it, but I've never, done it all in.
The part I read this year was the fall of Krakoa. So this was like the whole final act and everything. Some of the comics were good. Some of them were bad. In terms of the main story, it was also split between Gary Dugan and Kieran Gillen. And Dugan, who I used to like some of his Uncanny Avengers stuff, really has been bad at this. He does not write a book I want to read. Because they split it in 2. It was Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of X. Dugan's stuff was nigh unreadable. But Kieran Gillen's stuff felt like the perfect choice to take over this stuff. And his stuff was really, really good. And I wish he had been able to do both books solo.
Yeah.
Whether or not this was a good ending to Krakoa will probably be debated until the end of time.
Okay.
But I left fairly satisfied. My main problems with Krakoa still stand. Like, Zootopia is more thought out in its world building than Krakoa. It's also one of those things, like, individually, there's some stuff. And during Fall of X, I liked Children of the Vault by Dennis Camp. This was about Cable and Bishop having a mission inside the vault story. And it's kind of fun because throughout the past the past 2 decades, Cable and Bishop have had some real on the outs moments because of how Bishop was being written.
Right.
So you really just have 2 grumpy soldiers from the future going on a mission and having to be friends and deal with a Mike Carey sci-fi concept, and that stuff is fun. Like the 2 of them arguing about future weapons, which one's like the best one, and Cable's like, well then you must have never used this one because that one puts this one to shame. And like they don't really like each other, but they've got a mission. And so that was a lot of fun. Uncanny Spider-Man, when Nightcrawler gets to have like a Spider-Man costume.
Oh.
I mean, it was fun, but really it stands out because I just love the costume he gets to wear.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that at all. Okay, I need to read that.
Also, it's Simon Spurrier. They kind of fixed the whole Mystique, Destiny, Nightcrawler parentage issue that, you know, Claremont kind of hinted at and never got to write, and then other writers worked on it, including Chuck Austin. And so this reworked, or it's in giant size, or maybe not, just X-Men Blue.
Okay.
They fix it so that even the stuff like Chuck Austin's, what is his name? Azrael. You know Azrael, the red Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Right.
Azazel. He works all that stuff in while still making everything fit with what Claremont seemed to originally have wanted. So it's a really clean reworking of an origin story that had kind of needlessly gone off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked that. You know, I was disappointed by Louise Simonson's Jean Grey because she was doing, it was 4 issues and each issue was kind of a what if. Like Jean was trying to figure out if she could have made a better life if something else had happened at a certain point in her life. Okay. And then it's constantly proven like, no, the original thing was still the right choice. But at the end, the last issue recaps the miniseries.
Oh.
It just doesn't land.
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
I'll say X-Men, Dark X-Men, The Mercy Crown. That was by Steve Fox. Kind of scratched the Hellions itch I had.
Yes.
But really, nothing has replaced Hellions in my heart.
I know, that was really special for you.
Now, if, Marvel seems to be insane with how they do their collections, hardback-wise.
Yeah.
Or... I know they killed off their hardcover line in favor of paperbacks and just omnibuses, and they seem to be really dropping the ball with omnis as well lately. Huh. Well, but if they ever put Hellions in, you know, a hardcover of just those 18 issues, even though it is 100% Krakoa era, I would still probably get it. So, really, other than all those Venom comics and X-Men, I reread, or I was reading through old Daredevils and Spider-Mans.
Okay.
And that was kind of it. Yeah, you know, like the Death of Gwen Stacy era.
Right.
Because I had never really read past Stan Lee's original run.
Yeah.
When it came to that stuff. So I was reading that. And now I have read all the Daredevil stuff that happens before Frank Miller. And sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's just rough. But yeah, I was really just getting like Marvel... I don't know. Mainstream fatigue might be the right thing. I just wanted to read other stuff. So everything else I have to talk about is like more creator owned or DC. So I'll let you talk now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do you have any Star Wars? Are we going to get onto Star Wars?
I have one Star Wars thing.
Okay. Well, then let me say this so you can get to that.
Okay.
I read Greg Pak's Darth Vader series because you know I'm a sucker for Darth Vader stories.
Yeah.
And I thought it started off pretty well, and they had some interesting stories. Padme's the Keira Knightley character shows up.
Oh yeah,
from the prequels.
Right.
They have some good moments, but for the most part, it really was a nothing series for 50 issues.
Jeez.
And I also tried to give the Bounty Hunters, Star Wars Bounty Hunters series
I did kind of read that.
I found that to not be very fun, and also the art to be almost impenetrable.
Oh, that's a killer right there. Yeah.
It's weird. It's very like close up. And very like you could tell there's a lot of actioning happening on screen, but you cannot follow the action, or at least I couldn't to save my life. And that whole War of the Bounty Hunters series that happened, you would think something called Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters would be a ton of fun, but it's really just a not great sequel to Solo, a Star Wars story.
Oh, interesting choice, but all right.
Yeah, I was disappointed. So I've been disappointed by those
hard times.
Yeah.
Hard times for you.
All right, that's officially now the end of my Marvel stuff.
Okay. The only Star Wars thing I had on here was there was a run called Mutiny on Mon Cala, and that's by Kieran Gillen, and that is in just the Star Wars line. And that where I'm at in that has gotten a little sluggish. And I thought this really picked up. It was kind of a Leia-centric story. It was a good battle. There was a lot of action, but it felt like a good character piece as well, and I hadn't really felt that warmly about that series in a while, so I thought that was worth mentioning. I'm curious if you read any of the crossovers that Marvel and DC did in 2025.
I have only read the one that was on the DC app.
Okay.
It's it's titled Batman Deadpool, I think.
Okay.
Because there's another one, but this is the one that was written by Grant Morrison.
Okay.
It was fun. I mean, it's I want to say it's kind of nothing, but Grant Morrison kind of goes meta on their story. Grant Morrison may or may not be in the issue. It's kind of written like there's not a lot of time spent with Batman being like, you need to shut up kind of stuff that I might have been worried it was. Like Batman's just like, okay, here's Deadpool. I guess we're working together. He has a funny line where Deadpool's just going on, and he finally says something like, most people usually crack by this time. What's going on with you? He's like, I've spent years crime fighting with a hyperactive teenage boy. My main villain is a psychotic clown. Have you been talking this whole time?
I want to read that one, but I've only read like the Marvel version of that, the Deadpool Batman.
Okay.
And that was hilarious. That was very funny.
Did you like any of the side stories?
I did. There was
smaller team-ups?
Yeah, there was Kevin Smith did a Green Arrow Daredevil, which was pretty cool because he had, sort of epic runs on both of those. That was fun. Right. There was a Batman Wolverine that was done by Frank Miller, which was not particularly good, but it was cool to see.
Okay.
So, that whole collection was fun.
Art when he does that stuff?
I think so. It was definitely in his style if he wasn't doing it. But
right.
But also Flash Fantastic Four was really good. That's an unusual I don't know why they thought that.
Yeah.
And then Thor Shazam was also a lot of fun. And I guess they were just like, they both use lightning with their power, so throw them together. So
I really just read this. Let's see if I can remember the team ups. There was a Constantine Doctor Strange one, which wasn't as interesting as you think it might be, but at the same time,
like a good pair.
They're two very different characters, so I guess it's kind of them playing off that. There was a pretty fun Nightwing Lara Kinney Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, I could see that working. Yeah,
anything else is gone.
Okay,
they're fun.
And I would like them to collect those because I feel like there's a couple of stray ones that I missed, and I think that would be a fun collection. But as far as Marvel, I was going through and I read so I'm sort of in like 2018 with my reading here. So these are a little out of date, but I finished X-Men Red and I finished X-Men Gold and Blue from that time. And the X-Men Red, the Jean Grey team by Tom Taylor is not super long, but I really liked that.
No, it's like 11 issues, right?
Yeah, I wish that would have continued because I thought it was a cool breakdown of the team and I think they could have gone farther with it, but
I liked it a lot too because it definitely had to prove that we needed to bring Jean Grey back in the first place.
Right.
Because she had been gone for like 17 years.
Yeah.
And they brought her back and Gabby is in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Gabby and Lara Kinney and Gambit, isn't? There was that fun Gambit Thor exchange near the end.
Yes.
That I really liked, where Thor's like, this won't matter to someone who fought this, and Gambit's like, is that a big deal? He's like, yes, on Asgard.
I was reading that one. I was reading that one, and I stopped and like handed it to Hillary, and I was like, you have to read this, and she just like laughed out loud.
That exchange was very funny.
Yeah. One that she and I read together was X-Men 97 Great Expectations, which was the prequel to X-Men 97, which was pretty fun. You know, it was just just kind of a cash in, but it was still we had a good time with that. But
I liked X-Men Red because it kind of had a point that it was trying to make about stuff.
Yes, it did.
A lot about empathy and all that, which I thought was good. I thought it had a good use of Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
And I liked those, like the moment where they get the helmet where it needs to be.
Yep.
Was one of those moments for
also,
me.
Maybe the first cool Jean Grey costume, like the red and the blue, is a very cool look. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Red had a point of view that I felt like X-Men Gold with the whole like Colossus and Kitty Pryde almost getting married. I'm like, I don't need that.
Gold was trying to go old school with the storytelling, but it didn't have enough good stories. And I know you didn't like X-Men Blue, but I have to tell you, as a Magneto fan, that's where I was getting all the juice from. The moments, like the moment where he's like, they're all coming to fight Magneto, and he's like, I regret that it has come to this, and yet I also do not. I'm just like, let's do this. Yeah, it had some good Magneto moments.
I didn't hate Blue. I just I preferred Red of the three, and I thought it was sad.
I mean, it has Bloodstorm, and it's got a lot of weird versions of those classic X-Men. It also brought in Jimmy Howlett from the Ultimate Universe, and no one cared about him even in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of disappeared. He's in the main Marvel Universe, but somehow Wolverine's son from the Ultimate Universe is just like never used because he's a nothing character.
Yeah, it's true.
That one comic sure tried to make him a name for a second.
It did its best shot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Other standouts for me in Marvel, I read a lot of Doctor Strange, like around the Damnation era, which was like Donny Cates, and then Mark Waid took over the title with Across the Universe. I was really into that. I thought that was really fun, and I need to get back to it because I sort of hit a point in it. I branched off into something else, and I haven't returned. But I was really liking that era of Doctor Strange. But the biggest standout for me, though, was the Silver Surfer run by Dan Slott and Mike Allred. I mean, that was so cool.
But I do remember Dan Slott.
Yeah, it has kind of a Darwin Cookie sort of look to it. It's a real heavy line. It's funny. It's interesting. Like, it introduces new characters. It makes the weird world of Silver Surfer just work in a way that I think sometimes people struggle with. I think you would love it. I'm surprised you haven't read this because it's. I think it's top
been
notch.
On my list. I need to read it. That is true.
That's all collected nicely. I assume there's some sort of hardcover for that. I would think, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I would recommend that though. Okay. Are you doing anything interesting in video games?
Am I doing anything interesting in video games?
I had a borrowed Wii U, so I played Paper Mario Color Splash and Yoshi's Woolly World, and those were a great time.
So I beat Baldur's Gate 3. I guess there's that. I did grab the Spider-Man game for Steam, the one you played.
Okay. Yeah. All three of those games are great.
Spider-Man, it got like a remaster that was on Steam, so I grabbed that. So that might be the next big superhero game I have to play.
That's cool.
You seem to get almost more time in than I do sometimes. Oh, I
do.
I'm glad you. I finally played the story mode of Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Better late than never. Good for you.
I had never done the story mode, so I did that. Thought it was okay. Read all the comics related to that on the DC app.
Wow. Okay.
Injustice and Injustice 2. So the stuff that's supposed to take place before that game, and then the stuff that's supposed to take place between the two games. Read it all.
Okay. Wow.
I was just kind of in I want some dark superhero story stuff, and those kind of scratch the itch.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of all right, kill him, and then a character says I don't want it to go, not like this. We're on our own terms, and that happens 50 times.
No.
Because, the story demands it, but...
I've got an Injustice connection when we get to DC, but my current video games, I'm working through Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Legends of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, both presents from my good friend Eric J. Mickles.
Hey, man.
So, yeah.
Glad you like.
They're both a good time. I'm having a great time with both of them. Let's see. So we have.
I kind of lied. I tried to read some of the new Ultimate Universe stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I read the Hickman stuff where it's the Ultimate Invasion, which was really nothing. It's really just all setup. It's not a story.
Okay.
And I read the first volume of Ultimate Spider-Man, and I don't really get what everybody's going crazy about with this.
Okay.
I feel bad. It's fine for me, but like it also did nothing for me. But on the other end, I read the first volume of Ultimate Wolverine, and it seems like this is like some people either hate it or love it. But
I remember when you were reading that. Yeah,
it's really just a straight up hardcore Wolverine action comic, but with some trippy mental imagey stuff that I think I was really proud of my review when I was like, oh, this is what Darren Aronofsky's Wolverine movie would have looked like.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it was, I just had a good time. It's not a classic. I don't need to own it. I'm not going to tell people, oh, you got to read this. But for what it was doing, I liked it. But I have not read The Ultimates, which a lot of people say is really, really good. And I haven't read Ultimate Black Panther, which people say is good. And weirdly, as awful as Marvel's sales seem to be lately, the Ultimate Universe seems to be, selling like hotcakes, and yet Marvel's ending it out of respect to the story. So can't believe.
Yeah, wow.
It's just hilarious.
I didn't know that was a thing that still happened, but okay.
Yeah.
Well, still on the docket here, we have DC and things that are non-big two, and maybe a quarter bin in your future. But we will do that next time when we come back for part 2 of Giant Size Annual number 5. So I'll see you then.
Bye.